Hello and welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we're talking about doom metal, one of my favourite genres of metal. There's a lot of good doom albums, a lot of great doom albums. There's some not so great, but we're going to talk about the most essential ones today, in my opinion, the ones that you should definitely check out. I'm going to try and do, for a couple of genres, funeral, death, epic, classic, and hopefully that gives you a kind of broad sense of doom itself. This is not a video, okay? These essential videos are not a video for people who already know doom. This isn't like these are the best albums from doom. These are the ones you should check out if you like some of the albums. You might like more of the albums in that particular genre. That's what I'm going for here, to get more people into different genres, because doom, there's not a lot of fans for. So hopefully some of these albums can jump off the page and people will love them. So let's get started. The first one, my favourite doom band, I'm going to talk about Ahab. It's a funeral doom band, and we're going to talk about Call of the Wretched Sea. I fucking love that artwork. But I've already done a video on album artwork, so let's not get ahead of ourselves there. Funeral doom is a lot slower. It's the slowest, aside from drone, it's the slowest kind of version of doom. It has kind of really like long notes, held notes. It's kind of deep, low growls, and that's why I love it. I love that kind of singing. I absolutely adore it. And it's not pig squealing. It's literally really elongated, low growls. And Ahab does it fantastically. This entire album is basically about, it's about Moby Dick. It's about Moby Dick, and I love the nautical kind of feel of it. Everything feels like you're on the ship, you're hunting the whale. You can hear the wave noises. It's atmospheric. Funeral doom is so atmospheric. I adore it. And Ahab Call of the Wretched Sea is probably my favourite from this list. This is one of the ones where, this is biased. This is one of my favourites. But it also happens to be one of the ones people recommend a lot. So I'm going to recommend it as well. Please check this one out to get into funeral doom. The next one, the pioneer of funeral doom, Ferragoffen. I don't know if I've said that right. And the album Stream from the Heavens. This is the very first one, pioneered it. It created funeral doom, so I'm going to have to put it on this list. It not just because it is the pioneer, but also because it's still amazing to this day. It still has that eerie, funeral, dreary atmosphere, which you love in funeral doom. And, I love in funeral doom. Hopefully you do too. And, I love it when bands pioneer a genre and then the album that they did it with is still fantastic. Like Scream Bloody Gore. But yeah, this one, definitely check this one out. Next up, of course, I've got to talk about the Sabbath. Black Sabbath, the original album. It's not my favourite, but it is an undeniable classic, and it created pretty much heavy metal as we know it. So I've got to give some love to the Sabbath. This one is one of the better ones, and it is essential as hell, which is why it's on this essential list. But if I was going to say one you should check out if you can't get into this one, I'd say check out Masters of Reality, because that one is really doomy, really kind of hypnotic-y doomy. So if you don't like the first album, try Masters of Reality, and if you don't like that one, well, I don't know, you might like Dio's ones, but they're not really doom. They're kind of just heavy metal. But yeah, definitely check out this one. It has catchy riffs, catchy singing, pioneered an entire movement, which we all love today, so gotta give it some respect. Next up, Candlemas Epicus Doomicus Metallicus. I think this is a little bit better, maybe controversial, but I love the singing in this. The singing in this is so operatic, so just, it gets into your bones. The song Solitude, let me die in solitude. Like, it doesn't sound anything like that, but that song is the epitome of doom metal. That song is the epitome of doom metal. So after this video, go check out Candlemas Solitude, because if you like that, you'll like epic doom. And you'll like doom in general, because that song, I think, just categorizes doom as a whole. This album has plenty more where that came from. Next up, Stoner Doom. There's another kind of subgenre, which is, you can kind of guess what it is. But the actual musical style, aside from the lyrical content, the musical style is different. It's more fuzzier. It's a lot fuzzier. The vocals a lot fuzzier. There's not as growly. Usually it's singing, but it's kind of distorted in a certain way. And we're going to talk about Dope Smoker by Sleep and Dope Throne by Electric Wizard. Both classics in the Stoner Doom. Stoner Coom. I'm gonna coom. They're both absolutely essential for getting into Stoner Doom. And I think my favourite is probably Sleep Swan, just because it's like one song for an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just... it's so atmospheric. So atmospheric, and there's so many twists and turns, but Dope Throne is also absolutely fantastic, and probably the one people say, when people say, what's your favourite Stoner Doom album, people will usually say Dope Throne. It's that essential. So definitely check these two out, and if you like them, well, you know, you might like drugs. Next up, more into the Death Doom side of things, we got Turn Loose the Swans by My Dying Bride. This one is fantastic as hell. My Dying Bride just released a new album as well, The Ghost of Orion, which is fine. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. A lot of the other albums are better, like this one, which is a masterpiece. God, yeah. This album is just something else. You definitely need to check this one out. My Dying Bride, one of the pioneers of Death Doom. This alongside like Paradise Lost and Catatonia and stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful album. And Death Doom, you can kind of tell what Death Doom is. It's Doom, but with a more death metal kind of side of it. The riffs are usually death metal. There's usually some death growls. But it also has the calm parts, the doomier parts, the drearier parts. It mixes it well, and it's probably, aside from Funeral Doom, probably my second favourite. Next up, Brave Murder Day by Catatonia. I could have put Dance of December Souls, that's an amazing one as well. But this one is just one of my favourites. So I'm putting it here. The song Brave, masterpiece, like 10 minutes long. Oh, Jonas's vocals are probably the best in heavy metal. Might be going over the line there a bit. You got like Rob Halford and Dio and Dickinson and all that shit, but I don't know, Jonas is beautiful. Only he can make a song like Lacquer, which is basically a trap beat, no drums, no guitar, just his voice, and it's amazing. I don't think the other singers could do that. Jonas can do that because he's absolutely magnificent. So, yeah, this album is just gruesome. It's heavy as hell, it's epic as hell, and it's one of my favourite albums of all time, so please check this one out. Last but not least, Swallow the Sun. Swallow the Sun with The Morning Never Came. This kind of rounds out the Death Doom trio, which I just mentioned. I know no Paradise Lost, but I'm not as big into them as I am My Dying Bride, Catatonia, Swallow the Sun and stuff, but I'm going to delve more deep into Paradise Lost, try and get my hooks in them. But at the moment, they're fine. For me, they're fine. But Swallow the Sun is not just fine, it is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece band. I discovered them on the channel, actually. I discovered them on the channel, and I've listened to them so much. I'm tempted to get a tattoo of them. That's how much I like Swallow the Sun. I adore them, and the first album, it's grown. It's grown so much in me, and it's what people say is the best Swallow the Sun album. People usually cite this one, and I can see why. It is dreary, it's doomy, it's dark, it's aggressive. It has all the tendencies of a good Death Doom album, and it's just a masterpiece. One of my favourites on this entire list. One of my favourites. Right there with Brave Murder Day and Call of the Wretched Sea. So hopefully this has given you some albums to check out to try and get you into doom metal. There's some death, there's some epic, there's, you know, Black Sabbath's very first fucking album, there's some Funeral there's some Stoner Doom. Hopefully one of these will tickle your fancy and you'll start to enjoy doom metal, because that's why I do these essential videos, to get new people into genres of metal. So hopefully you had a good time. Let me know what your favourite doom metal album is, favourite doom metal band, and favourite doom metal fucking song. Tell me in the comments below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.